session of day 2. I would like to begin with introducing our session moderator, Jyoti Dhawan Ma'am. Ma'am is an educator and lifelong learner. Her travels across the country and overseas have enriched her academic experiences and educational philosophy. As head of a unique institution, sorry, as head of a unique residential school from praiseworthy girls from humble backgrounds, she was committed to developing an environment where each child's unique abilities were nurtured into critical and creative thinking. Welcoming ma'am on stage. Over to you, ma'am.
Greetings from Valley of Words, from the children's literature segment of Valley of Words. I welcome you all. Children down the ages since ancient times have been fed with beautiful animal stories with moral lessons from Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra. And then we had fairy tales from the West, from far-off lands, where children would be overawed but would not be able to relate to those stories of princes and dragons and things which were not Indian. Mercifully, we have for the last 2 decades young authors who have started to write literature for children where contexts of Indian culture, of Indian regions, of Indian languages are highlighted. Valley of Words desires and aims to stimulate the reading skills of children. In a world which is fast filling with AI, where children hold handheld devices with more delight than books, WOW aims to initiate children to reading skills, to read, to sing, to dance the written word. And Valley of Words, for the last 4 years, has had creative book reading as a competition, inviting various schools to read from shortlisted books and to project their own representation of what they read and delight from the books. Today, the award-winning book, the Chhau Champ, has been judged the best book, and we are very fortunate to have the winner with us, Ms. Vibha, and we have principal of Him Jyoti in conversation with her, and I invite both of you on stage. I also invite 2 students from Him Jyoti who are going to be part of the conversation, Yogita and Khushbu. Please come on stage.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Welcome to this very exciting session. We are honored to have with us Ms. Vibha Batra, who is an author par excellence. Vibha Batra, winner WOW Book Award 2024, Children's Literature, award-winning and best-selling author. Vibha is a graphic novelist, advertising consultant, poet, lyricist, translator, playwright, scriptwriter, travel writer, columnist, speaker, and creative writing mentor. My goodness, ma'am. My goodness. That is so inspiring. She has published 28 books and over 100 short stories. Her short stories and poems have appeared in the Chicken Soup series, international anthologies, Outlook magazine, The Hindu Young World, Champak, print and e-magazines, and on the Juggernaut app. We are honored to have you with us, ma'am, today. An author whose work spans an impressive range of genres, from young adult fiction and romantic comedies to poetry and graphic novels. Vibha is known for her witty, relatable, and culturally rich narratives. It was a pleasure to go through to read your latest novel, ma'am, Chhau Champ. Especially on page 11, there is a description wherein you say, Kaka looked crushed like a puchka roughly handled. I mean, who would think of such a simile? How could you, ma'am? How do you manage to culturally relate, touch upon humor, and also at the same time, you touch the chord wherein you are dealing with very sensitive socio-political issues. So how do you manage to balance humor with such serious issues?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the lovely words. A very good morning to everyone present. To answer the question, ma'am, I just let the story take charge, the characters and the story take charge. So I don't try to force anything. I just like to let it come very organically. Because if I try to force fit my themes and my views onto a character's mind, it'll sound very forced. It'll sound preachy. So I just tend to step back and let the story take over.
Preachy, definitely it is not. So today we are going to dive into this latest book, Chhau Champ. And Chhau Champ is the traditional dance of Bihar. And it is weaved into a contemporary story, a unique blend of culture, humor, and storytelling that only Vibha could bring to life. My girls are going to grill Vibha on that. And we'll be discussing the inspiration behind the book and her creative process and her thoughts on writing across different genres. So over to Khushbu from Himjyoti School.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. First of all, we both would like to congratulate you for being one of the winning authors for Wow Book Awards 2024 Children Literature Festival. I'm Khushbu Aneria, a grade 12 student from Himjyoti School.
Thank you so much, Khushbu. Lovely to meet you.
And I, Yogyata, a grade 9 student from Himjyoti School.
Hello, Yogyata.
We both will be having the interaction with you. Over to Yogyata.
So let's switch gears with some rapid fire questions. Here we go. Are you ready, ma'am?
You said rapid fire. You know, the minute that word comes, I start thinking of Karan Johar's show. How many of you have watched it? Yeah, but any coffee hampers?
Before we continue, I stand corrected. Chhau is of West Bengal. I think I said Bihar. That happens when you're sitting next to such an accomplished author.
3 states, so you know you're.
So it's okay.
Your favorite character in the book and why?
Okay, can I just say Ogni Kaka? Because like ma'am said, he's very sweet and he tends to say the most serious stuff with a very straight face. So you don't know whether he's joking or he's being, you know, on the level. So was it rapid enough?
Yes, ma'am. A fun fact about the writing of the Chhau Champ.
A fun fact? Okay, oh my gosh, this is not rapid at all because, you know, I'm just... Okay. Okay, can I come back to you on that? I'll try to think up fun facts while writing.
If you could only write using one word for a week, which word would you choose?
OMG.
That's quite good to hear. A book from your childhood that had a significant impact on you.
Okay, so I'm going to take the name of a very serious book. It's a book by my grandpa, the late Sri Vishnukant Shastri. So he was a scholar and an academic. So his book was called Ishavasya Upanishad, Gyan aur Karm. So he used to, you know, constantly talk about it and give discourses on it. So that really influenced me. And when I just started my career, writing career, I decided to translate this book from Hindi and Sanskrit into English. So that was my first book, Ishavachya Upanishad, Knowledge and Action.
What was your childhood dream before becoming an author?
Okay, so I don't know if it counts as a dream. I just wanted to sit in one place and read and eat without getting scolded or without doing ulti or without, having to move. Just sit in one place, read, 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 eat, eat, eat.
A hidden talent or hobby you have that your readers might be surprised to learn about.
Mimicry, maybe.
Two things which are on top priority in your wish list.
Work related, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to work on a horror novel because I'm very scared of ghosts. How many of you are scared of ghosts? Yeah. So as all the advertising campaigns keep saying "Dar ke aage jeet hai," so I want to conquer that fear and write a horror novel. So that's priority one. And priority two, I would like to write the screenplay of a movie. I've not done that. So maybe that.
Ma'am, it's good to hear that you're trying to explore new things. Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll be moving forward with some in-depth question from the book and the journey you went through. Here we go. What inspired you to write this particular story, and how did the idea of incorporating Chhau dance come about?
Okay. So that's a lovely question. Thanks, Khushbu. So I hail from West Bengal, from Kolkata. And growing up, I used to watch these Chhau performances during, Republic Day parades. I've never seen one live. Have any of you seen a live Chhau performance? Okay. So I was fascinated by the entire look and feel and the visual drama of this dance. Because, the big masks and, all the effort and, the talent and how, all artists talk about recognition, they talk about validation. But look at these artists. They have spent their entire life working on their craft without getting, a financial reward or even, international recognition. It's so hard, but they still keep at it. So, they have my heart, they have my complete admiration. So I wanted to write something on this art form. And that's how it came about.
That's so lovely, ma'am. Are there any characters in the book that are based on real life experiences or people you know?
I always say that the characters in my books, they are composites of people I've met and know. And I always say names have been changed to protect the author's safety.
Thank you, ma'am.
How important do you think illustrations are in children's literature, especially in conveying complex themes like gender roles and societal expectations?
Okay, I would say very important, and I think I was very fortunate that Priya Kurian worked on this book because she's one of the best illustrators in the country. And she really brought the dance form alive because when you see all these illustrations, they are so detailed. They have these, minute nuances that, they would probably, if somebody else, if a seasoned illustrator hadn't handled it, probably that wouldn't have come through.
It was a delight to watch
it was
those,
a delight.
definitely.
You can keep looking at the illustrations. Yeah. So I'm totally grateful to her.
You mentioned in the book how Shubha stands up for a passion for Chauu. Why do you think it's vital for children, especially girls, to express their interest even when faced with challenges that are put up by the society?
Okay, so it's something I feel very strongly about. I feel that, there are a lot of barriers when it comes to, girls. So I feel that only if we have this narrative, not just, from families, from a community, from the society as a whole, that we can really help them, come forward. Because there'll be a lot of things to hold them back. Social norms, gender expectations. So many girls tend to drop out of schools. They do not go after their dreams. They think it's okay to, sacrifice. It's social conditioning that you start feeling guilty. Because even Shubha in the book, she feels guilty. She thinks that, is it worth it? I have, alienated my father. He feels humiliated in front of his community. Is it worth it? But in the end, she realizes, her father realizes it's absolutely worth it. Because, you're standing up for yourself. And because of you, there will be a generation of women who come forward and they express their interests and their creativity.
It's very encouraging to hear that everyone is trying to empower women in their own way. The next question is, if Shubha were to advise young girls who might want to pursue their dreams but faces gender discrimination or any other challenge that our society puts up, what do you think she would say?
What Shubha would say, I think instead of saying a lot, because she's a person of action. So I think she would go ahead and do it. She would just bulldoze through the challenge and she would do it anyway. And she would be like, "Baad mein dekhenge." So
Having explored themes of discrimination and breaking stereotypes in your book, The Chhau Champ, are there other social issues you want to address in your future works?
oh, absolutely. I think I have an opinion on everything. And I have this why spare anyone or anything approach. So I'm sure I'll come up with a lot of things. Anything? So any aspiring writers in the audience? Okay, so if you want to be a writer, the best thing is to write about things that annoy you or anger you. So a lot of things do that to me. So I'm sure I'll come up with a lot of them.
Shubha, the protagonist, is a strong character who fights for her passion. How did you develop her personality and determination? Were there any real life influences that shaped her character?
Oh, absolutely. Real life influences because, I'm surrounded by very strong women even at the moment. So I think, I just drew inspiration from that. And I kept asking myself, how would she react? So she's not me, but she's very strong. And I just wanted to, make her somebody who goes after her dreams. She has second thoughts only when her father is very anguished and he walks off the stage. But until then, she's very convinced that she's doing the right thing. And I think more than that, when the protagonist or a person in real life feels that, I think it's up to the grown-ups and up to the society to take charge. Instead of letting them feel, that they have done something wrong, it's time to lift them up and empower them to go after their goals. Because only then society can be cohesive. Because the problem with patriarchy is it does disservice to the girls as well as to the boys.
Thank you, ma'am. When you reflect on your own childhood, do you see any parallels between your experiences and Shubha's journey? If yes, could you please share that with us?
Okay, I wouldn't say parallels because, growing up, I grew up surrounded by books. So maybe that was a common thing because she grew up getting all this knowledge, information, and exposure to the arts. And it was in her blood. You could say Chhau was in her blood because, even if she wanted to escape it, she could not. So, growing up, because I was surrounded by books and my grandfather was literally inclined, so I felt that it was in my blood too. I could not escape writing, even though I wanted to just read. The writing just happened because I read so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
What strategies do you use to engage younger audiences with the themes of your book, and how important is it to you that children could relate to your characters?
Okay, so I would say that, when you do something with humor, I think it gets the message home. If I would have taken a high-handed approach and, a very serious, preachy narrative, the readers would say, oh my God, that's another grown-up who's just talking at me. They're not talking to me. They're again telling me what is right, what is wrong, what to do. And that gets tiring after a bit, right? But if you try to couch it in humor, if you try to, come from their point of view, I think the message hits home because then it becomes a little relatable to them.
Thank you, ma'am. It was absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ma'am, just one thing I have to. Vibha, one of the hallmarks of your writing is the brilliant sense of humor. And it is not humor for the sake of humor. There's a social commentary behind it. So what I want to ask from you is, how do you manage that delicate balance between you are making people laugh, at the same time you are making them think also on such serious issues. So how do you make that balance?
Okay, so that's a very difficult question, ma'am, because the intention is not to hurt anyone's feelings because we live in this age of offenditis. Everyone is offended by something or the other. And especially stand-up comedians, people who try to, take a light-hearted approach, they end up, ruffling a lot of feathers. So, but, as an author, I think our work is to say the truth, to speak truth to power without getting our heads cut off. So I think it just comes with a lot of practice and a lot of praying that, oh my God, I hope there are no people standing outside with banners and, burning my effigies.
Fantastic. I mean, you're being very empathetic when you say that. You are taking care of people's feelings also, not to hurt their sentiments. At the same time, you are getting your voice heard. So, absolutely amazing. Those who have not read Chhau Champ so far, I recommend it's a brilliant book. Please go ahead. Thank you, Vibha.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Vibha, tell me, which are the books that you've written after Chhau Champ, and which are you currently writing something? What are your future plans?
Okay. So, ma'am, after Chow Champ, I had more books come out. I had a book called Ghoul School. This is about a 10-year-old ghost who's a very friendly ghost, and he doesn't want to scare people. He would like to entertain people and become a stand-up comedian. So there is hardly anything scary in this book, but I was still scared. So that is one, Ghoul School. And the second book is Kushti Kid. That is again on gender bias and gender discrimination. It's about a girl who wants to learn Kushti, but nobody let her because she's only a girl. So how does she go about fighting all the prejudices in a village, and how does she finally get enrolled into an akhada makes the crux of the story.
Wonderful. Do you consciously look for these issues like chow dance, or now you're saying wrestling, or what other thoughts are there in your mind that you might sometime write a book on?
So, ma'am, yes, this gender imbalance is something I feel very strongly about. So it tends to come up in my books, even though in other books it may not be, so upfront. But I try to make sure that, qualities like bravery, like courage, like persistence, they are not restricted to one gender. So I would like to show it's okay for boys to cry. It's okay for mamas to run the house, to bring home the bacon. It's okay to show gender roles and papas in the kitchen. So I feel if we do that, we are doing our bit to show and to lead to a more equitable society.
Wonderful. Vibha, your easy style of writing is so enjoyed by the children. You're going to be seeing the enactment once again. You've already witnessed it. On 6th of October, we had the competition where about 10 schools performed on the books that were shortlisted. Vibha's book also definitely made the mark, and you'll be seeing the winning performances today, immediately now. And I hope you all enjoy those winning performances. Thank you so much, Vibha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ruma.
Thank you so
and
much.
Yogita and Khushbu for taking this
Thank
session.
you, ma'am.
Wonderful. Thank you.
School. Today we are presenting a story, Akela, in the form of Cantastoria. In a big white city, with its bricks and its roots, is a lane where breaths mingle, crackle and hoot. Hope rises up to meet its smell. Joy twists around, is away from hell. Faith shines through its sides and makes the city, oh, so bright. It is in this lane that our man, Akela Lekhan Koot, longs for some quiet. He works with words, after all. Each time he sits with paper and pen, the blank pages stare back at him, and he cannot write them. So up he mounts with nails and hammers and tongs and spanners. So further he climbs with papers and pencils and rulers and stencils. So higher he goes with saws and strokes and wires and ropes, and creates a world on the top of this world, away, afar, alone. Nothing, oh, nothing will come in his way. He feels it will be a happy day. Oh, how his thoughts begin to flow. Plimsolls, portholes, tadpoles, orioles. But soon it goes slow, and it come to a stop. Akela Lekhan Koot scrambles through his sheet. What to write? No ideas discreet. Why are his lines falling flat? Why are his characters seem cold? Why is his story not unfold? They flop, they droop, then crash. Akela feels miserable. Makes a grave decision. Never will I write again. Never, never will I take this pain. But then, all the way high up there in silence, his ear catches the sound of wailing infant, squabbling man, and chattering woman. So his ears catch the sound of violence, and he realizes what still is missing. Something stirs inside him, something shifts, and he makes his greatest move ever. He comes down to the real world, however. He gives souls to his story forever.
Thank you, girls, for that wonderful interpretation of Akela, which was a very difficult book, and they did a wonderful job of showing their creative talent. Next is Oceanic International School, who's going to be doing a mime on what the dark sounds like. That was Shreyanshi and Khushman performing on the book Out in the Moonlight from Oceanic International. Next up is the Oasis School performing on Out in the Moonlight, and the participants are Sarvi Kulchan, Samaira Rawat, Reyansh Mittal, and Saisha Tripathi. Give them a big hand.
We're doing a poetic representation on the book Out in the Moonlight by Perumal Murugan.
Out in the moonlight, walked Amma with care. Her 5-year son went along with dare. 10-month-old Thambi, astride on her back, banishing her sleep, Amma stayed on track. Through the dark caravellum, lantern aglow, walking the path, quiet and slow. Reaching the millet fields, at last, she sat on the bunt. The night was vast. With moonlight spreading, she scanned the ground and spotted a cowshed where water could be found. Reading her thoughts, her son, sharp and wise, ran towards the shed to return in a trice. Back with a pot and a basket so grand, Amma wondered how this would lend a hand. Place Thambi in it, her clever son said, and with that she started the work ahead. As she plucked stalks, her elder did play. The stray and her son chased the night away. Thambi in the basket peacefully lay, as the last stalks were pulled by the break of day. At dawn they returned, her task done right. One son slept, the other held the light. They still talk of that moonlit night. I spent it in the basket, says Thambi with pride. Thank you.
That was delightful. Next up is the Brooklyn School on the winning book, The Chhau Champ, and the students are Abhimanyu Pal, Vyom Pokhriyal, Drishti Yadav, and Samrid Negi.
The students of Brooklyn School will now present before you an enactment from the book The Chhau Champ, written by the author Vibha Batra. The play holds the scene where Shayon gets ready for his first stage performance with the help of his sister Shubha. Later on, Shubha performs in place of Shayon and mesmerized everyone.
My stomach, it's hurting.
That's not your stomach.
I want to go home.
Stop it. You will be fine. Let's just get ready. Look up.
Why?
Because I said so. Now shut up and stand still. Your performance will be perfect. After all, you are the disciple of Chhau star Tapan Chaudhary. Everyone feels nervous before their first stage performance.
How would you know? You have never danced on the stage. Sorry, you'd better run back home.
Shubha knew her brother was not trying to get rid of her. She was not supposed to be here. If the Ustad caught her red-handed, this would be her last time backstage.
Have fun.
Fun? Just add a goalposter there and give me a football. I will show you what fun is. Oh, my dhoti.
Shubha comes home and finds her mother Laki very sad.
What did you do, you foolish girl? Saved you from that lying cheater.
I needed that job. We needed that money.
Don't you know how tough times have been? Your Baba's work is like tide. It came and it went. Calm down, Ma. Your job is not going anywhere.
He'll be back now.
Of course, where else he will find a better person than you to rob?
And where were you this time, madam?
Went straight to the Maidan after the school. Didn't want Shayon dripping all over his dhoti.
You'll do anything to be the part of troupe. Won't you? Go, get ready.
Let's both get ready. The yard is not going anywhere.
They both head towards the Maidan to see the Chhau performance. Shayon was trying to match steps with the performers and failing. Shubha thought that it's time for her to go on stage. And there she was, with a bright colored kurta, tidily draped dhoti, a big colorful mask, and elegant headgear, wielding a mighty sword.
I'd like to call upon stage Mrs. Ruma Malhotra for the prize distribution.
Best for enactment, may I please call upon the following schools to come on the stage and collect their prizes. Best for enactment, first, Brooklyn School. May I please request the participants and the teacher to please come on the stage. Are they there? Lokesh sir, could I please request your presence on stage to give away the prizes? Brooklyn School. Do we not have the participants here? Brooklyn School is not there. Himjyoti School to please queue up after this. Sure, sir. Himjyoti School. Come on, girls. You did a brilliant job. I was also given this discount. Oasis. And then the Oceanic International, please line up. Well done, Oasis. Ma'am, please join. Oceanic International. Very nice. And now for the amazing book reviews, I call upon the winning schools. Himjyoti. Himjyoti girl should come running. Followed by Mountfort Academy. Now this is book review which we are giving awards for Mountfort Academy. Whom do we have from Mountfort? Come, come. Then the Oasis for the Chhau champ. We can definitely clap a little louder. Thank you. Followed by again him Jyoti, book review of Pagdi for Sin. That's not how you come to take prizes, you come running. Then we have Shivyanshi for Akela from Oceanic International. Do we have Shivyanshi here? Okay. Now we come to the crossword category. Arav Singh of Summerhill International for a crossword on what the dark sounds like. So you did an amazing job. Arav Singh, Summerhill International. Then we have Neha Negi from Saint Kabir for Out in the Moonlight. Drishti Yadav from Brooklyn School for the Chhau champ. Adrika Dimri from Tonsbridge School for Akela. Is Adrika here? I guess no. Okay, thank you so much, sir. May I now please request our lovely author, Vibha, to please come again on stage and say a few words. And I also want to announce that she'll be around today. So those of you who want to get your books autographed by her, you are free to do so. So ma'am, please, just a few last words.
So congratulations to all the winners and to all the participants, because I just feel that even trying is winning. But because it's a competition and because there's a jury and judges, we do have first place, second place and third place. But I just want to share my favorite poem by Shri Sohan Lal Dwivedi, which goes that लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. So please keep trying, please always do your best. And please dil chhota mat karna if you did not get first place. What matters is that you tried. So congratulations and good luck. Thank you so much.